Switchcraft is brought to you live 3 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern and on Saturday at whatever time I can get to it. Tune in live at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by Chris Nelson. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 over at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. There we go. Thank you, Chris Nelson. Patron. And then we'll save. This is 188. 188. Holy cannoli. We're coming up on 200. 188. All right, here we go with the sponsor. Episode 188 of Switchcraft is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free book and directly support the stream by checking out Audible. They have thousands of books from every genre. You're definitely going to find something you like. Just head on over to runjumpstomp.com/audible and get your free book today. It's awesome, guys. I love Audible. I am currently listening to a book called Freedom, which is actually a sequel to a book called Demon, which is by Daniel Suarez. It's this really cool thing where the internet leaks into the real world, kind of. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's really good. Mikey be playing. See you later, man. Tell your boss to listen to the show. All right. Well, let's start off today. I know that this person is kind of divisive. A lot of people just absolutely hate the guy, especially on the internet. I feel like it's very popular to dislike Jimmy Fallon, and I don't dislike him. I think he's fine. And if anything, he is the only late night show host, and I'm a big fan of late night TV, even though I really don't get to watch it much anymore. But I've always been a big fan of late night TV. He is the only late night TV host that actually gives a crap about video games, or at least gives them, he puts them on the same platform as everyone else. Now, a lot of people get mad because Jimmy Fallon seems to get excited about everything, but guess what? I get excited about everything. I love loving things. You know, that's a very famous quote from Jeff Kanata. He was on the Totally Rad show, and he said, "I just love loving things." And anybody who, let your geek show. And that's what Jimmy Fallon does. Anyway, the whole reason I'm bringing up Jimmy Fallon on a Nintendo podcast is because he got to have the first hands-on play of Mario Tennis Aces. And I'm very excited about this game. Now, I didn't get to watch the whole thing because I was at work all day, and then I had to come home and start the show. So I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I watched the beginning, and it looked really fun. The stuff that I watched, he was just using motion control, so I didn't see if he got to do, just traditional controls playing the game or not. But it wasn't like other times where he had, like, Reggie came on the show to show off Breath of the Wild and show off the Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. It wasn't like that for this. This was just, it looked like him in his dressing room, just trying out the game. Like the audio quality is kind of bad because it looked like they were just shooting it with a phone or something. I'm not sure. Like he didn't have a good microphone or something. But the gameplay looks really good. And everything that I see about Mario Tennis Aces gets me really excited about the game because, like Jimmy, I love loving things. Putting in chat says some people love to hate things. And that's true. There's some people out there who just are not happy unless they are grumbling about something. But I'm excited to play that game. I can't wait to check it out. And we're definitely going to be having some tournaments here in the Nerd Nest over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. Make sure you join up. Join the Discord, and then you can be part of our Mario Tennis Aces tournaments. But that aside, if you want to check out the video, just click on the link in the show notes, and it will take you straight there. By the way, this is something that I never say, and I probably should, for the people who watch the show on YouTube after the fact. I'm always talking about the show notes, and I don't actually post the show notes to YouTube. So I'm very sorry about that, but it's really easy to figure out what the show notes are. It's always going to be runjumpstomp.com / and then the episode number. So this is episode 188. So the show notes are runjumpstomp.com / 188. And they will show up after I'm done recording, but that's where you'll find it. Anyway, now you know where to find the show notes in case you were ever wondering. All right, let's move on. Oof. Fallon. Save. One of my favorite things to say, Kodiak, is I'm not crying. My eyes are sweating. All right. Oh, yes. Thank you very much to Aerslia and Nintendoric04 for their Twitch Prime subscriptions. That's why I'm wearing the hat. Crap, I forgot to hit record on... Oh, sugar pants. I mean, that recorded, but that means this episode's going to be lower quality than I like. Damn it. Okay. Live and learn, people. Live and learn. All right. I forgot to hit record on OBS so that I get the high quality 1080p 60 frames per second recording, even though I'm streaming at 720p 60 frames per second. Or 30 frames per second, whatever the hell it is. 60. Son of a biscuit. You dummy. All right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. Is this the YouTube link? I hope not. Good, it's not. It's not. Okay. Wanders back. Oh, wait. I can't host without a computer case. What? I'm confused. All right, here we go. My brain stopped working. Let me figure out how this works again. Okay, good. That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. All right, next on the list of things to talk about is new Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle DLC is now out, apparently. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. It is the craziest title. Like, this has got to be the longest title for a video game ever. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure. There is a trailer that is online now that you can check it out. You know what? Maybe you can't download the game yet. I'm not sure. I thought that when I watched the footage earlier, and I'm gonna have to mute this, and let me get this off the screen real quick. Here we go. Oh, yep, it says right here. I wanted to make sure that it didn't get picked up by the YouTube bots, so that they would think I'm stealing the content. But it says right here, available now. So I guess it is now out. Now, what I don't know is what is the cost of this. Nintendo, I seem to remember Nintendo giving this stuff away for free, but I think that there was also a season pass. So I'm pretty sure that if you have the season pass for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, now you finally have a reason to have it. Because up until now, yes, now I'm remembering everything. Up until now, all you really got were some guns. And the guns were, they were okay. Early game, they were really good, but then you would eventually level up and get stuff that was better. So up until this point, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense for the people who bought the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle Season Pass. And now finally, it looks pretty good. Like, I watched the video, and it looks like there's a whole new world to go through. You've got Donkey Kong and a Grandpa Rabbid, it looks like, with a giant slingshot. Overall, I think it looks really fun. I'm probably not going to be picking it up. I played Donkey Kong, or not Donkey Kong. I played Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and I really enjoyed what I played, but it didn't hook me the way I feel like everybody else was hooked on that game. It didn't really draw me into it. And because of that, I quickly got distracted, saw something shiny, and started playing other things. And I never got back to that game. And it's not because I think it's a bad game. It just doesn't call to me. So now that this is out, it doesn't make me want to. I mean, I want to play that content, but I didn't finish the original content. So plunking down more money just doesn't really make sense to me. Kodiak Moonwolf in chat says, doesn't look like it's out here yet in the UK. Unless it's the season pass, you have to get it. Pudding says, I haven't even finished the third world in Mario plus Rabbids. Pudding might be in the same boat as me. Oh, Super 80s says, having trouble viewing the stream today. Oh, I'm sorry, Super 80s. Make sure you watch the VOD after the fact if you can. So anyway, are you guys excited about the Mario plus Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure DLC? Let me know. In fact, what I'm going to do is as soon as I finish recording this segment, I'm going to go ahead and make a Twitter poll. And I want you guys to go to my Twitter account at RunJumpStomp, and there's going to be a poll there. And you let me know if you are excited for the new Donkey Kong DLC for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. There we go. And let's go to Twitter real quick. And I'll make a new thing. All right. Are you excited for Mario plus... Whoops. You know what? Mario Rabbids Donkey Kong DLC, question mark. And we'll do Donkey Kong as a GIF. And we'll turn it into a poll. I can't do a GIF and a poll, apparently. Yes, it's going to be bananas. Oh, I can't do it that far. I'll just do yes or no. No. And we'll do the poll until the next episode. There we go, 2 days. I really need a picture of this, so let me just grab that. That didn't work. Let me just grab this picture real quick. This is taking too long. I shouldn't have done this. I can't do a picture either? Alright, whatever. Tweet! Pudding loved it but can't stick to it. That's kind of how I am, too. You think I'm wrong? Well, okay, but... It says available now. Like, if you guys look, where is it? If you guys look right here, it says available now. You see? Available now. Maybe they're just talking about Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Maybe that's what they're saying is available now. Well, I don't know. That's okay. I'm okay with being wrong. I'm wrong from time to time, more often than not, actually. All right, let's go to the next thing. Okay, so the next story I think is fantastic. In fact, I think it is the most important story of the day. In fact, it might be the most important story that we talk about this month. That would be in May. And that is Nintendo Nintendo bans online services for a prominent hacker's Switch console. This comes to us via Nintendo Life. There is a hacker who goes by Shiny Quagsire. Apparently, he is a big in the homebrew community. Now, I'm not against homebrew stuff, but what I am against are cheaters. And, you know, Nintendo is protecting the rest of the player base from people who are potentially cheaters by looking at your Switch, seeing if it has been hacked, and then banning it from using online services. So, Shiny Quagsire got a message from Nintendo, an error code, basically. It says the use of online services on this console is currently restricted by Nintendo. Please contact customer support, blah, 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 blah. So then he reached out and he got an email back, and they said, "Hello, thank you for patiently awaiting for a reply on your situation. Unfortunately, given the information you provided, we will be unable to cancel the ban on your system. I understand this is not what you wanted to hear and certainly appreciate your understanding in this matter. For more information, please review on our support site, support.nintendo.com, the EULA that pertains to your system." So, all right, so what's happening here is he's a homebrew modder. He modded his Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo detected that and said, "You're done. You're not going to be playing that Switch online anymore." And while maybe he wasn't up to anything nefarious, if Nintendo has a policy, and it's a system-wide policy, and says, "Listen, we don't want you playing your hacked consoles on our system because there's possibilities that people could be cheating," then how am I going to say this? Then I agree with them, because I hate playing with cheaters. And I don't understand the motive of somebody to cheat in the game, but I hate playing with cheaters. And if this is what Nintendo's going to do to keep cheaters out of the games online, I think that's a good idea. Now, I'm looking at chat here. Let's see. Pudding says, "The way I understand is that they ban the account, not the console, because he got the error on an unhacked console." As far as I'm concerned, that's good. For me, I think that that's good. And just because he says that it was an unhacked console doesn't mean that it was. But you know what? If you want to hack stuff, then you run the risk of not being able to play online. And the more people that break the rules, the less likely it is for people who obey the rules to have a good experience. So I like that Nintendo is coming down hard with the ban hammer here, because if they don't, then they're going to regret it, I think. I've been playing MMOs for years, massively multiplayer online games. I've been playing them for years, and inevitably you run into gold farmers or hackers or people who are cheating the system and interfering with the way that I want to play the game, which is the way that it was designed. And because of them, it kind of ruins the enjoyment. Like the gold farmers will cause too much inflation in the online community, and this makes all of the prices of things on the auction house skyrocket. There's a lot of unforeseen consequences to hacking a game, and the more that Nintendo comes down on somebody like that, the better, because I've seen too many times a company who will say, "Well, we don't want to alienate our customers, so maybe we'll just, give them a small punishment, or maybe we'll just say, don't do that again." It's much better to be swift and harsh with the punishment, because, this guy can just go out and get a new account, and that sucks for him, but he shouldn't have been breaking the rules. Pudding says, "Well, I agree, but I think it's harsh to ban the account. I would like to have a Switch used for homebrew and one for online plays." And I understand that. I totally do. But I would prefer to have them come down really hard to dissuade people from cheating altogether. And because now, if you're caught cheating or hacking, and yes, there are reasons to do homebrew outside of that, but that is one of the reasons that you might do a modded console, is so that you can cheat and so that you can hack. and it's not easy enough for Nintendo. I don't believe it would be easy enough for Nintendo to tell one way or the other, hey, this guy is just doing homebrew, this guy is just hacking his console. And for them to ban the account, that puts a big disincentive on the player to start cheating. And the reason why is because we have our games that we've purchased digitally linked to our account. And if our account is gone, then we lose all our games. And so I think that that's really important lesson that this guy has learned. And I forgot to turn off my audio. So right now we've got a new subscriber from Triforce Sword. Thank you very much. I can't believe I forgot to shut that off. So YouTube, now you get to experience that, what that sounds like when we're when we're doing the podcast live. And same goes for the audio listeners. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Triforce Sword, for using Twitch Prime to subscribe. You're awesome. All right, let's move on. Whoops. All right, let me, what do we got to do here? Cheat, save, and for those of you that don't know, here comes the hype hat. Every time somebody subscribes or tips on Twitch, I go ahead and put on the hype hat. And I just paused the alerts, so that shouldn't happen again. Secret Salute, Triforce Sword. I like that name, by the way. All right, let's see. I'm going to bring the next two stories in together because they're both rumors. The first one comes from Emily Rogers. She's an admin over on Resetera, which used to be NeoGAF, basically. And she had posted insider information about the Pokemon game that's coming to the Nintendo Switch. And what she said was, I just want to provide some clarification on what I said and what I didn't say. And for those of you watching the video, I'm highlighting it right now so you can see what I'm looking at. Oh, look at that cat down there. It's so cute. All right. It says, what I said, I believe a Pokemon game is releasing on Switch later this year. It will be an RPG with at least 2 versions. What I didn't say, I didn't specify whether it was a core game, a spin-off series, or a remake of an older game, or a Gen 8 game. Then she said, I won't be sharing any more details. The announcement isn't that far away. Okay. That's some pretty low-hanging fruit there. The idea that a Pokemon game is coming to the Switch console. I think anybody would guess that. That's a pretty safe bet after the Switch came out, and then we had Pokemon, what the heck is the name of it? Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon come to the 3DS last year, and I believe even at that point, the Pokemon company said this is the last Pokemon RPG that's going to be coming out on the 3DS, you know? So the fact that she's saying this stuff really isn't a huge surprise. The second thing that she said is that it's going to be an RPG with at least 2 versions. What a surprise! And nothing against Emily. I'm just saying people see what is said here, and anybody could guess that. I would totally guess that would be happening, especially since Nintendo said at last year's E3, we're working on a Pokemon game that's going to be a core RPG. That's not a huge surprise to anybody. And then finally she says, I won't be sharing details with anyone. The announcement isn't that far away. That's also a pretty safe bet. We've got E3 right around the corner. So whether it comes out before E3, which is what I believe she predicted, or whether it comes out at E3, her phrasing here is saying, look, the announcement's not far away. Well, E3's not far away, so I'm fairly certain we're going to hear about a Pokemon game at E3 this year, especially because Nintendo said at their annual report last in April, I believe, that the Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch is slated to come out fiscal year 2018, which is sometime between. Let me think for a second. I can't remember. sometime between April 1st, 2018 and March 31st, 2019. So anywhere between there is totally fine. Somebody's playing the saxophone downstairs. 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. Yes, according to her, that we're supposed to have the announcement before E3. I mean, but even if that doesn't happen, she could easily just say, "Well, they must have delayed it," and maybe her source is wrong. I'm not saying she's twirling her mustache here and saying that something's happening. Or that she's just making stuff up. I'm saying that maybe her source is wrong. Maybe her source is right. Who knows? But what she said here really isn't like, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? Thank you to Triforce Sword for the Twitch Prime subscription. I appreciate it. I hope she's right, because if Nintendo, I'm sorry, if the Pokemon Company is revealing a new Pokemon game and they're not waiting for E3 for that, that means that they don't want that announcement to get in the way of whatever they have in E3, which means that would be huge. That means they must have something huge to talk about at E3, because you would think that they would save that for E3 since it's so close. All right, Pokemon save. Oh shoot, I had another rumor. Okay, I'll just add it on. Okay. The second rumor is that Ridley and Simon Belmont are going to be joining the Super Smash Brothers roster. Now, this one I see on Destructoid. I've seen it actually quite a few places. And for those of you who don't remember who these characters are, Ridley is like that big, scary pterodactyl-looking thing in Metroid, and Simon Belmont, he's the fellow with the whip from the Castlevania games. So Destructoid here says that Vergben, I don't know who that is, they predicted that the Ninja Turtles would be making their way to an Injustice game, which actually, when that came out, that was pretty cool looking, and that Grow would be in Soul Calibur. Those are some pretty big, I don't think anybody would go out there and say, hey, guess what? Ninja Turtles. I think that they're going to be in the next DC fighting game. Like, who would guess that? Nobody would guess that. That's just, clearly this person has good information sometimes. Now, as far as Ridley being in Super Smash Brothers, I don't know that I buy that. Like, Ridley is a huge character, and I believe even Sakurai has said, look, putting Ridley in the game is probably not the best idea because they're so big, and shrinking them down to be the same size as the other characters, that really wouldn't make sense either. So the idea of Ridley being in the next Smash Brothers game doesn't make sense to me. However, Simon Belmont, I think that's a really good idea. Simon would have some really cool moves with that whip. They also had like the cross and the holy water and all this other stuff that you could easily add to the up smash and down smash and that kind of stuff. I think that Simon Belmont would be awesome. Now, Vergaben, I don't know how to say his name. He also has said that the Ice Climbers are making a reappearance. Now, this is one where I totally buy that the Ice Climbers are going to come back to Smash. The only reason why Ice Climbers were taken out of Smash to begin with, it was because of when you ported it to the 3DS. The 3DS hardware just didn't have enough oomph to handle having the Ice Climbers on the screen at the same time. At least that's what Nintendo said. It might just be that Sakurai said, you know what, it's too hard to balance with these two. I'm not sure, but that's why they were. That's the official word on why they were taken out of the game in Smash 4. Well, now we're on the Switch. The Switch is definitely more powerful, and it could definitely handle having the Ice Climbers in the game. And I know that there's a lot of people who were sad that Popo and Nana were removed from the game. So maybe they will come back, or maybe they'll be split up like a palette swap. Maybe that's something else that they could do. Because I don't know if you remember, but in older Smash games, Zelda and Sheik were the same character, and you would do a button and it would switch them from one to the other. And then they eventually said, you know what, let's make this two different characters. So the roster of Smash Brothers has always been pretty fluid. One more thing to think about with this is the idea that they've been pretty good about keeping secrets as to when they're adding characters to the game. Like, I think I remember distinctly watching the reveal of when Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, when Cloud Strife was coming to Smash Brothers 4. Like, that was a jaw-dropping moment. Nobody had that stuff ahead of time. And I think that for the most part, the developers of Smash have been really good about keeping secrets. So they probably still are pretty good at keeping secrets. Triforce Sword in chat says, do you think they should bring the old story from Smash to the new one? I don't know. I prefer if they just, if they're going to have a story mode, just make a new one. But I've never really cared about the story mode. I play through it because it's fun, but I don't care about the story because it was never really all that interesting to me. But I know that a lot of people have said that they would like to have the, what's it called, the subspace emissary mode back in the game, which was removed in Smash Brothers 4. So I think that it would be a good idea for them to bring it forward, just because a lot of people like it. Putting in chat said, I think the issue with Ice Climber was when 3 or 4 players were picking up the character, it was too much for the hardware. Right. Yeah. So if you had two, like, basically there's too many characters on the screen. At least that was Nintendo's official thing, or official response, or official reason. Anyway, so there we go. Flit Squad. Thank you. Welcome to the Nerd Nest. Rumors. Zoomers? Let me zoom out real quick. All right, let me just combine those two and save. Welcome to the Nerd Nest. Thank you for the follow. All right. I already did that. Okay, we got one more rumor. I guess I'll throw that in at the end here. No, I'll just... Okay. All right, one more rumor, and then I've got a couple videos that I want you guys to check out if you've got time. The first is, or the last rumor is, according to Japanese Nintendo, is that Nintendo has now applied for a trademark for the Nintendo 64. So people are saying, well, this means that we're getting an N64 Mini, and I don't doubt that we're getting an N64 Mini. It makes perfect sense for them to put out an N64 Mini. First off, how many controllers is it going to come with? I think it'll come with 2 controllers. That's my guess. But I think that we'll get an N64 Mini at some point. This trademark does not mean that we will, and that's because Nintendo has to renew its trademarks any company who has a trademark on something, they have to renew their trademarks. I don't know how often, but it's pretty often. And if they don't what's the word I'm looking for? If they don't renew their trademarks, then they could lose their trademark. And that means anybody can start making stuff with that logo or with that name. So, of course, Nintendo is going to be refreshing their Nintendo 64 trademark. Doesn't mean we're getting one? No. Doesn't mean we're not? No. Are we? I think so. I really do think so. The General MD, yes, it is a good indicator, but it's not guaranteed. I agree with you. All right. And I closed my show notes like an idiot. I do that all the time. All right, real quick, I want to talk about a couple of games. The first one is Disco Dodgeball. My full review for Disco Dodgeball is up on my YouTube page over at youtube.com/runjumpstomp. I want to talk just a little bit about that game. I have had a lot of fun, or I had a lot of fun playing the press event the other day where it was online. That game is really good, and it is best on the Nintendo Switch. I worry that there's two things about the game that worry me, and I didn't really talk about this in my review because I didn't know about it yet. It does not have cross-platform play. That is very upsetting because you want to have as big a player base as possible. And the fact that this particular game, I really liked it on Steam, but I didn't play it very much on Steam because one thing that was not the developer's fault, I didn't have a good controller for it. But the other reason is because there was nobody to play with. So if I pick this up on the Nintendo Switch, which I think is the best place to play it because it has gyroscopic aiming for throwing that ball at somebody, you know, I might have too small of a pool of people to play with, and that's upsetting to me. So hopefully at some point the developer, which is Zen Studios, hopefully they see the light, or maybe it's out of their hands. Maybe it's not something that they're allowed to do. Maybe they have to talk to all of the different platform holders first. I'm not sure. All I know is that this game would be better with a larger pool of people. Now, real quick, if you want to see the whole video again, check out the link in the show notes or check out my YouTube channel. But my overall thoughts is that the game is really fun, best played on the Nintendo Switch because of the gyroscopic aiming. And if you don't know what it is basically a Tron-styled dodgeball game with awesome music in the background. And it's really fun and simple, and I recommend it. Another video that I want you guys to check out if you're interested is my in-progress review of a game called Fallen Legion. This is a game which previously came out on the PS4 and Xbox One and Steam, and now it's come to the Nintendo Switch, and they actually, there were two games previously, and both of those games have been combined into one game. And this is a side-scrolling, button-mashing strategy game, which is a weird way to say it, but it's really fun, and I recommend the game. It's got really good art style. The music is fantastic. I'm really enjoying the story. I find the writing is pretty damn good. And overall, I recommend Fallen Legion. But if you want to watch the full video or the full review to get all the nuances of it, make sure that you check it out on the link in the show notes, or again, like I said, I hear saxophone downstairs. Or like I said, over at my YouTube channel. Let's see. Triforce Sword asks, is the Switch the only console you own, or do you experiment with PS4 and Xbox One? I also have a PS4, and I have a Nintendo Switch, and I have a PC. So thank you for asking. All right. One more video. And that is the latest in the NES Archive series. This one was Muscle, which is it's based on an old toy toy, like these little eraser sized and almost made out of the same eraser material rubber wrestlers that you could buy in buckets back in the 80s. And they ended up making a wrestling game out of it, and that is Muscle. I can't remember what Muscle stands for, but it's an acronym. And make sure that you check out the NES archive footage over at my YouTube channel. All right, let's move on to emails, and then we will wrap this up. Thanks, Super 80s. All right, I got 2 emails. The first one is from Janko. They say, "Hi, Bill. First, thanks for your show. I'm listening to every episode here in Germany, and you are doing a great job. I want to add something to your NBA Playgrounds mention on the show. The thing that I did not hear exactly in your show was the fact that the game Shaq Fu on Super Nintendo and Mega Drive had a really, really bad reputation, and that they're even playing with that in the trailers for the remake. That is true. It was supposed to be abysmal. I never played it, though. So if they say in the trailer that the remake will be better, that means nothing, because the first game was, in the opinion of the reviewers, one of the baddest games out there. And that means that it was a bad game. They're not saying it in the 80s version of that was bad, you know? Where was it? It says, "I personally think that a remake could be fun, and I bought Playgrounds at the moment they said you could get Shaq Fu for free. But I think another problem is that with their company. One thing that bothers me more than anything else they did is the fact that the screenshots in the eShop are not from the Switch version, but from the PS4 or something like that, because the graphics look better. They have shadows, and I think it falls under the category of a scam. Keep on doing a great show. And by the way, when it's available again, is your wife shipping to Germany's? Best regards, Janko." All right. I did not know that they used the PS4 graphics for the Switch eShop. That is nonsense. And that is absolute nonsense. I hope that they don't do that. Like, I hope the video that they show on there is not also like that. Secondly, my wife, for those of you that don't know, my wife has an Etsy shop where she makes zippered pouches and dock socks. There's little cloth things you put on the front of your Nintendo Switch dock to make it look cooler. And right now her shop is on vacation because we had a death in the family, and she's too busy dealing with that stuff to sew stuff, because she sews these as people buy stuff. But once the shop opens back up, yes, we do ship to Germany, but you have to remember that there are tariffs that I have no control over. So whatever you are paying for shipping, you may have to pay something else once it actually arrives in your country. Just keep that in mind. Second email I also got from Sean Bustler. He said, in response to a question I asked a while back, he said, "Games I want to play on the Switch, I want to play Mass Effect Trilogy. I want to play Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 4, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, Command & Conquer Red Alert." Command & Conquer? Isn't that an RTS, like a mouse and click RTS? That would be tough. Final Fantasy VII, Red Dead Redemption, Batman Arkham Trilogy. And you're right, Shining Force. My iOS version of Shining Force broke, and I can only play it on the Wii. That is a long list of games that you want to play portably, and I applaud that list. So those are good stuff. If you want to email the show, you can do so by going to your email client and typing in runjumpstomp@gmail.com. You can also call and leave a voicemail at 260-RUN-JUMP. That's 260-786-5867. Kodiak Moonwolf in chat says RJS's wife makes really cool things. He is correct. She does. He also says they did bring some Command & Conquer games to consoles. I did not know that. All right, guys, I am all done. I gotta go. If you are looking to support content like this, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/thank-you. There's a bunch of links there that you can use in order to support the show. One of them is well, you know what? You can find out when you get there. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. Don't forget that the full show tends to be longer than the show that you hear on the podcast. And if you want to watch the full show, you can either show up live at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp, or you can watch the VOD after the fact at youtube.com/runjumpstomp. Finally, thank you everybody who has supported the show in the past. I really appreciate it. And big thank you to the chatters. You guys are awesome, and I would not be able to make this show without you. The chatters who are here today are Kodiak Moonwolf, Beats Alive, Aerslia, Link31254, Mango Tree, Mikey B Playing, Mr. Pickman, Nintendork04, Super 80s, TF Wagner, The General Doctor, Triforce Sword, and we got new subscriptions from Nintendork, Aerslia, and Triforce Sword today. You guys are awesome. I'm out of here. You guys have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, we finished. And YouTube, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time as well. Bye-bye. There we go. Even though